Welcome student, my name is Raman Singh Chauhan. We are going to study today's topic helium neon laser. So what is helium neon laser? We can say helium neon laser is a gas laser. So before we start helium neon laser, we will talk about gas lasers. What are gas lasers? Gas lasers are type of lasers which use mixture of gases as their active medium. These gas lasers are widely used lasers, and these gas lasers are less prone to overheating, so they can be run continuously. Like we say that the active medium is mixture of gases, they are widely used, and we know in cases of optical pumping, we were providing light, and light was heating the solids. And similar way, light, if we are providing light to the gases, then that will heat the gases also. But gases are less prone, like they are not getting damaged. The mediums which are gaseous medium, they are not going to damage because of overheating, and so gas lasers are having advantage over solid lasers, solid state lasers. So now we will come to helium neon laser. So helium neon laser is a type of gas laser in which a mixture of helium and neon gas is used as a gain medium. Helium neon laser is also known as HE laser, where we know He is symbol of helium and Ne is symbol of neon. And so the laser, helium neon laser, which is a mixture of helium and neon gas in active medium, is also known as HE laser. It was first gas laser and it is widely used. It was built in 1961 by Ali Jawan, Bennett and Harriot at Bell Telephone Laboratories. And helium neon, an atomic laser, employs 4-level pumping. So we know what is 4-level pumping. 4-level pumping is a scheme of pumping in which 4 energy levels are being used in laser operation. So here we will see that the laser operation will involve 4 energy levels for its operation. So now come to next, we will talk about essential components. As we know, all the lasers are having 3 essential components: active medium, pumping mechanism and optical resonator cavity. So for helium neon laser, we will talk one by one about these 3 components. So what is active medium in helium neon laser? So helium neon laser is using a mixture of helium and neon gases in 10:1 ratio. That is, we are using 10 parts of helium and 1 part of neon in active medium. Now pumping mechanism, the pumping mechanism involved or used, that is electrical pumping. So in electrical pumping, we are using electrical discharge for pumping. We will take on this electrical discharge process in detail in pumping mechanism. Now optical resonator cavity, this is the third component, essential component of laser, and this is combination of parallel mirrors. The combination of parallel mirrors is using one fully reflecting mirror and one partially reflecting mirror, and feedback mechanism is developed in optical resonator cavity, and the oscillations of photon leads to laser operation and laser beam is released. So, now we will look at the diagram of helium neon laser. So, here we can see this is a tube, which is very narrow tube, and here active medium is filled. This tube is having mixture of helium and neon in 10:1 ratio. Here we can see these are anode and cathode. These anode and cathode are connected to the RF oscillator, and from here we provide high voltage, and that high voltage helps in electrical pumping, that is source for electrical pumping. So, these are plus and minus or anode or cathode are provided for connection for RF oscillator. This is the second part, this is used for pumping, and the third part, that is optical resonator cavity. So, here we can see one mirror is here and this is one mirror. So, this mirror which is written here output mirror, from output mirror we will get output of laser beam. So, this is partially reflected mirror, and this is second mirror which is fully reflecting mirror. So, this partially reflecting mirror will reflect light as well as transmit light, and this mirror, this will fully reflect the light. So, this is schematic of a helium neon laser, and here we are provided with external mirrors which are part of optical resonator cavity. Now, the active medium, that is the first component, essential component of helium neon laser. This is active medium. So, in active medium we know there is a 30 centimeter long tube which is 1.5 cm in diameter, and it is filled with a mixture of helium and neon gases in 10:1 ratio. What is advantage of this 10:1 ratio? We will talk about this advantage or this reason why we are using 10:1 ratio in the pumping mechanism. Now, come to the second part in this like active medium. The point is the pressure of helium is 1 millibar, whereas that of neon is 0.1 millibar. And neon atoms, here neon atoms are active centers which are having a suitable energy level for laser transitions. That is, we know active centers are some specific species of gases which are having a suitable metastable state for laser operation. So, here neon atoms are having suitable metastable state which can achieve population inversion, and ultimately laser beam can be produced. And helium atoms, here helium atoms are supporting centers, or we can say helium atoms are used to help neon atoms to move to metastable states. So, this is active medium. So, have a relook that active medium, and we are using a 30 centimeter long and 1.5 centimeter diameter a tube which is filled with mixture of helium and neon gases in 10:1 ratio. Partial pressure of helium is 1 millibar and partial pressure of neon is 0.1 millibar inside the tube. Neon atoms are active centers. They will be having, or they are having, a suitable metastable state for achieving population inversion, and neon atom and helium atoms are used for supporting or helping neon atoms to achieve or to reach to the metastable state. Now, pumping mechanism, as we know, we are using electrical pumping in helium neon laser. So, electrical pumping. What is electrical pumping? We know electrical discharge is produced, and for producing electrical discharge, glass tube is provided with electrodes, and these electrodes are connected to the DC power supply or RF oscillator, and here high voltage produced, and high voltage of 10 kilovolt is applied across the electrodes, and this high voltage ionizes the gas, and these ions, electrons and ions, accelerated towards respective cathodes and anodes. Electrons move towards anode and ions move towards cathode, and they, as we know that helium atoms are lighter than neon atoms, so they move with more acceleration, like they are having or they are accelerating fast towards respective cathodes, and in this process we know, because neon atoms are heavy, so they cannot be pumped up efficiently without help of helium atoms. So, here we will talk about what is actually happening, why we were having 10:1 ratio of helium and neon. So, that we will talk about. We know that when we are providing electrical discharge, so if number of neon atoms is high, or if volume of neon atoms is high, then it will be not possible for those ionized gases or those ions, if they collide with neon atoms directly, because neon atoms are heavy atoms, so they cannot be accelerated to such a value that they can achieve sufficient energy and they can reach to the excited state. So, for providing that sufficient energy, when we are mixing helium gas with neon gas in 10:1 ratio, it means we are having 10 times more volume of helium gas, and hence if electrical discharge is produced, then electrons will collide with helium atoms. The probability of collision of electrons with helium atoms is high because the volume of helium atoms is high, 10:1 ratio. And when volume is high, ultimately probability of collision with electrons is high for helium atoms, and when these helium atoms are colliding with electrons, then the energy of electron, that is because of this discharge, and plus the kinetic energy of electron, that is shifted to the helium atoms, and helium atoms reaches to their excited state. Now what happens? As we know, the volume is in 10:1 ratio, means for every neon atom there are roughly 10 helium atoms. So, if this helium atom collides with the neon atom, then this helium atom can transmit its energy to the neon atom, and in this way neon atoms get that energy which is required for excitation. helium atoms provide their energy to the neon atoms and they return to the ground state, and neon atoms shifted to the excited state, or we can say due to atomic collision these neon atoms reaches to their metastable state. So, in this way pumping is achieved through electrical pumping. Now, glass tube, because we know optical resonator cavity is the third essential component, and here glass tube, that is active medium in which helium neon mixture is there, that is placed between two parallel mirrors, the combination which we talked about earlier and also that was shown in the diagram of helium neon laser. So, this combination of parallel mirror, one is partially reflecting and one is fully reflecting. These mirrors are silvered or optically coated, we can say, because for making any mirror a glass plate is silvered and the reflectance of that mirror depend on the quality of silvering. So, here one mirror is partially silvered and that is known as output coupler, that is partially reflected mirror, and the other mirror is fully silvered and that is known as high reflector or fully reflecting mirror. High reflector means the reflectance is high, around 100% reflectance is there. So, all the light is reflected, and output coupler, that is the mirror from where we will be getting output, and that is partially silvered mirror, that is around 99% silvered mirror. Now, we will talk about the working, or we will see what is actually happening and why we are saying that helium neon laser is a 4-level laser. So, here we can see the energy level diagram of helium and neon atoms. Here this is helium, we can see F1, F2, F3, these are representing the energy levels of helium atom, and here E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 and E6, these are representing energy levels of neon atoms. Now, F1 is ground state of helium atom and E1 is ground state of neon atom. When electrical discharge is produced, that is electrical energy is produced, that energy is absorbed by, or the collision of electron take place with the helium atoms. Here F2 and F3, these are excited states of helium atom. When electrons collide with helium atom, these helium atoms shift to their F2 or F3 level, and now these helium atoms collide with neon atoms and transfer energy, this excess energy, to neon atoms, and neon atoms shifted to E4 or E6 level from ground state. If an atom of helium in F2 level collided with neon atom, then neon atom shift to E4 level, and if an atom of helium collided with atom of helium in F3 level collided with neon atom, then neon atoms move to E6 level. And ultimately, by providing energy to the, or shifting energy to the neon atoms, these helium atoms return to the ground state of helium, that is F1 level. Now come to neon. Neon atoms are, now we can say, when helium have returned to the ground state, the neon atoms are in their metastable state. E4 and E6 are metastable state of neon, and the most common wavelength of laser which we are taking, that is 6328 angstrom. So, we will talk about this transition, and the same process is followed by other transitions also. So, we will talk about this most common transition which is taking place, or the wavelength which we are, the most common wavelength which we are getting from helium neon laser. We will talk about that process. Now, when neon atoms are in E6 level, so from E6 level they are accumulating and E3 level is empty. So, population inversion is achieved between E6 level and E3 level, and as we know, more and more neon atoms are accumulating there. So, population inversion is achieving and increasing. Now, if any external photon or if any photon is there which can trigger the stimulated emission, then stimulated emission is achieved and a laser transition of 6328 angstrom between energy levels E6 to E3 level is produced. Now, when this transition takes place, means neon atom shifted to the E3 level from E6 level by producing a laser beam of 6328 angstrom. Now, E3 level, at E3 level, the energy of neon atoms is not consumed because they are still in excited state. So, after they reach to E3 level, spontaneous emission, because they complete their lifetime which is there in E3 level, and after completing their lifetime they release the excess energy in the form of spontaneous emission, and spontaneous emission of 6000 angstrom take place and the particles reaches to E2 level. Now, neon atoms reaches to E2 level, and now what happened? This neon atoms which are in E2 level, they are collided with the walls and de-excitation takes place and by collision with the walls of the tube. Now, we can see that at E2 level the energy of neon atoms is not very high, but still they are having some excess energy, and that excess energy is required to be released, and if this is releasing by producing photons, then that will be create some problem in the process of laser. But if this energy is released by radiation less transition, then for that the balls of the tube were made very small, like we use narrow tube of 1.5 cm in diameter. That is, the tube is narrow, and when the tube is narrow, then the collision probability of neon atoms with the walls of the tube is high, and that is easily possible, and so neon atom after colliding and transferring energy or doing de-excitation of neon atoms take place with the walls of the glass tube, and they ultimately returns to the ground state even. And the same process took place again and again. Again helium atoms goes to their excited state, they collide with the neon atoms, they transfer energy to neon atoms move to their meta-stable state, and then laser transition is produced, then spontaneous emission, then de-excitation with the balls through collision, and returning to the ground state take place. Here the population inversion between E6 and E3 level, E6 and E5 level, and E4 and E3 level is produced. Here we can see that three wavelengths, that is 3.39 micrometer, or we can say 33,900 angstrom wavelength is produced. Here 1.15 micrometer wavelength laser transition is produced, that is 11,500 angstrom wavelength is produced. So these two wavelengths are in infrared region, and this wavelength 6328 angstrom in visible region. And this is the most common wavelength which is produced by helium neon laser. So we generally talk about that the wavelength of helium neon laser is 6328 angstrom. Now here we can see that role of helium neon atoms and the role of 10:1 ratio is provided, that is nothing but to provide or to increase the probability of collision of helium atoms with the electrons, because helium atoms are lighter, so they can get more acceleration, and those accelerated helium atoms collide with neon atoms, and neon atom acquire energy or take energy from helium atoms and shift to their metastable state. And here reverse probability, that is neon to helium collision, is very small, so that is not considered. And now the metastable states of neon atoms are E4 and E6, and the transitions which take place or population inversion take place between E6 and E5, E6 and E3, and E4 and E3 levels. These are the transitions of laser which take place E6 to E5 with wavelength E6 to E5 with wavelength 33,900 angstrom, E6 to E3 with wavelength 11,500 angstrom, these two in infrared region, and the most common wavelength E4, E6 to E4, that is E6 to E3, that is 6328 angstrom. Now the spontaneous emission takes place, then radiation-less transition through collision takes place, and the particles move to the ground state. So this is the process. Now what is happening in optical resonator tube? When particles move, or in optical resonator, what happens, from where we are going to take that first photon or first photon which will cause or which will trigger stimulated emission. If any spontaneously emitted photon is parallel to the cavity walls, then it will start oscillating, and this oscillating photon will trigger stimulated emission, and when this number of photons or the radiation density is increased beyond a level, then excess of radiation density releases through the partially reflected mirror in the form of laser beam. So this is the helium neon laser. So in this way, what we saw how what is helium neon laser, what are the essential components, and why it is called 4-level laser, because we are using 4-level operation in helium neon laser. This is all for today. We will in our next class we will take the next topic. Thank you.